11 years ago, the world watched in horror as over 200 Chibok schoolgirls were abducted by Boko Haram, a tragedy that shook Nigeria and sparked the global Bring Back Our Girls movement. While some have been freed, many remain missing, and their families still wait for answers. Meanwhile, violence continues to plague Nigeria, with recent killings in Plateau State drawing widespread condemnation. Today, we're discussing the unresolved pain of the Chibok abduction and the strong stance taken by the northern chapter of the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, against the Plateau massacres. Why has justice been so elusive? What must be done to end this cycle of violence? Let's dive in.
Well, let's now take this moment to remember over 90 girls who are still in captivity. Yesterday, April 14th, marked 11 years since Boko Haram militants abducted over 200 girls from Chibok in Borno State, sparking global outrage and the hashtag Bring Back Our Girls campaign. The abduction on April 14, 2014, of the schoolgirls highlighted deep security flaws and exposed the nation's struggle to protect its citizens. Despite promises and efforts to find the missing schoolgirls who have now become women, little progress has been made while abductions continue across Nigeria. As the anniversary passes, the mission remains unfinished until every missing girl is safely returned home to their families who still await their daughters. And you know, this is the campaign. Yesterday, I wanted to take the story. We didn't really have time to touch on it because that means a big topic. I have met some of the women who are still waiting for their daughters. Last week, I met one of them who, was saying that she still continues to wash her daughter's garment every other weekend, waiting. And the issue about abduction is still rife, it's still continuing. We've been talking about, these killings that are even going on at this point. At this point, we just want to appeal to the federal government to also look into these 96 Chibok girls that are still missing. Our hearts go out to their families. In the meantime, there's been widespread condemnation of the ongoing violence and killings in Plateau State following a recent attack in Bassa local government area of the state where over 50 people were killed on Sunday, April 13th, just days after 80 people lost their lives in the same attacks in Boko's local government area of the state. Governor Muftuang described the violence as a sponsored genocide and stated that armed bandits have taken over 64 villages. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has condemned the killings, urging the state government to address the root causes of the long-standing ethnic and religious conflict and demanded a thorough investigation into the attacks. Well, also, the Christian Association of NorthernNigeria has also condemned the brutal killings in the state, expressing deep sadness and outrage in a statement issued on Monday. They call the attacks senseless, barbaric, and a threat to peace and unity, urging security agencies to apprehend the perpetrators. Vimbai, we did see last week Governor Mutwang over the weekend where he went out to visit communities in the Boko's local government area. There are about, I believe, 1,000 of them, he's saying at this moment, that have been affected by this really deadly attacks in this at this time. Vimbai, we know the antecedents, we know the story, we know the history behind these killings. They say that it's been going on for what? How many decades now? I'd like your thoughts. It seems like we just continue to talk about this and continue to condemn the killings and no results. The same as the Chibok girls, no results.
It's devastating, Oji, because it's a recurrence. Same conversations, same themes. So the death toll for Plateau State specifically since 2023, since that Christmas massacre, is now over 300. For a period of 1 year, that's just deplorable. Now, you hear that, okay, fine, the nomadic groups and so forth. We need to separate between because this is no longer farmer-herder. The governor is calling it full-on genocide. What broke my heart is the fact that there's a community called Rui. Rui lost 17 people during the Christmas massacre of 2023. That same community is affected by this killing again. Now, can you imagine a community that was just beginning to heal and recover from the calamity they went through 2 years ago are now plunged into mourning again? Now, what does this also show you? It shows you that we're not doing anything to secure those areas that were attacked before, because by now they seem to know the pattern. They know that they come around this planting season when they're getting ready to start to prepare for the farming season. They know the communities they come into. They know that besides the farmland, this is about illegal mining. So the question is, what are the proactive steps that are being taken? Of course, the president has made a statement that has been rather divisive for people, because the president has said that, well, enough is enough, and he's called on the governor to step up and do what needs to be done in the situation. Now, why is this divisive? Because some people are saying, is it the president who is supposed to be calling on the governor to step in, when at the end of the day we know that the security architecture belongs to the federal? Now, the other school of thought is saying that, but the governor has a responsibility to go into communities and create conversation and create security at the community level. We know that Plateau State already has Operation Rainbow. They also have the agro rangers, but it's just not enough. So I think in a multifaceted approach where we see, as we popularly like to say, kinetic and non-kinetic, let's go into those communities and see what can be done from that level. However, this is a security issue, and we need to focus on ensuring that the military goes in there, re-strategizes, reinforces, does whatever they need to do to secure this, because this, in such a short period of time, is just purely tragic.
I know, absolutely. I mean, the idea about, who and, what parastatals should be taking care of security it is the responsibility of the federal government as well as the state government. I mean, they are the ones who said, elect us. We want to help you guys. So you both, the Tinubu administration and, the Plateau state government, because I believe the reprisal attacks began in 2023. Over 250 Plateau citizens have died at this point. I know that there was a time where, we had these sort of attacks in, some northern states like Kaduna State. And we have seen that it has reduced very, only recently we have seen some sort of community engagement in Kaduna State where we see Ubasani going to churches and, there's this collaboration with the Muslim and the Christian community. No, hold on. Can I land on my point? Yeah. There's that mutual understanding that we are a family. And so, it behooves on the state governor who is in charge of all of those local government areas to find ways to collaborate with these communities, to speak to them about the ills of these killings. You were the one who sent me the video of Shehu Sani having those sort of interaction with the Fulani group.
Context and also differs.
Well, we know that.
And let me make if I can be made allowed to make my points.
All right. What are you trying to argue about?
My point is, let's not come here and be hypocritical
about
what is happening in Plateau. The security dynamics is way different from what was happening in Kaduna. Kaduna was also a heated religious battle based on some of the leadership there. That was what was happening in Kaduna then, and we all saw the hand. What Shehu Sani has done is to douse things down based on those religious proclivities. Here, ethnic cleansing is genocidal. The external people, there's a lot of land in the system. There's the Irigwe problem. There's mining. The context is different in all of this. My point has always been, and please do not get me wrong, I'm not saying the governors cannot do communal engagement, but the bulk of stopping the war has and rests on the federal government.
And so that is why the issue of state police is also coming in now. We're speaking about they need to do that as well. And so our argument is that we're not saying anything different. And you're spot on with the issue of genocide in Kaduna State. It's the same thing that the governor is claiming, alleging. The governor of Plateau State is alleging at this time. We all know the meaning of genocide, so it is a serious and worrying situation, and all hands need to be on deck.
That's just it.
My heart goes out to their families. Yes, go ahead.
I'm sorry I'm going back, but you set YouTube on fire. There's a hashtag 300 million NBA now.
Okay.
Cyril Tolerance says that if the NBA cannot host its own conference and can't generate enough revenue for 300 million, they probably shouldn't be doing it in the first place. Because it's quote unquote inside.
I mean,
you set it on fire. It's just YouTube is upside down.
YouTube
is upside down.
No, there'll be more reactions.
The Arise News YouTube page is on fire. It's on fire.
There'll be more reactions to this. Can we go back to the security?
Yes. Back to security.
Let's talk about the security issue. Very, very important topic. And as I was saying, my heart goes out to the families and those that have lost their lives in this really horrible communal clash. I mean, I don't even know whether to call it a clash, because these people are going into bedrooms and people's homes and killing. Something needs to give. In another development,